The most exciting words any actor can hear besides "you won an Oscar, you booked the job." Today, we'll look at what happens after the thrill of booking the part wears off and you realize now you need to come up with the goods and do the work. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Jill Dalton, a working actor living in New York City. Welcome to my channel where I share insights, inspiration, audition tips, practical career advice, lessons I learned, and behind the scenes stories about show business. The good news, you booked the part. The bad news, you booked the part. After the exhilaration and running around my living room going, yes, 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 fear and panic set in. Old negative thoughts start attacking me. You're not good enough. You don't deserve this. You're going to F this up. Who do you think you are? You suck. I was grateful to learn it's not just me. I recently watched an interview with Kate Winslet. After she booked The Regime, she was so petrified. She told her husband to call and cancel her part. She made a list of other appropriate actresses who could replace her. I tend to book grieving wives and mothers, lots of crying over dead children and husbands. I don't enjoy playing these parts. They're hard, and I'm not sure I can pull it off in a scene where I need to do take after take after take. I also had a bad experience playing a grieving mom on a well-known TV show. After 13 hours of doing the scene over and over and over, it's time for my coverage. But by then, the well was dry. I could barely remember my lines. I had said them so many times, they no longer made sense. And it was 3.5 pages. I spent 2 days in bed beating myself up after that. It took me that long to recover from that shoot. And I felt like I'd been run over by a Mack truck. I didn't want to act after that. I said, I'm done. I was asked back to audition for a larger part on the same show. This time, my husband and son were both killed in a car accident. In the sides, the cops show up at my house to tell me about the tragedy. I know I'm supposed to cry or scream or fall down and gnash my teeth or something because, well, it's a close-up on the wife's reaction. You know what I did? Nothing. I just listened politely, like it was an Amazon delivery. I sabotaged the audition on purpose because I didn't want to subject myself to another part where I was expected to be devastated over and over and over again. I thought about that and realized I learned a valuable lesson. As actors, we often feel powerless on these sets that run like well-oiled machines. We're an afterthought. We're not told what's going on, how the scene is going to be shot, how the day is going to go. And I promised myself I'd never allow that to happen to me again. Fast forward, I book a commercial. The scenario goes like this. My husband just died. It's after the funeral. Friends and family members are gone. I'm alone in the house. I walk down the hall to the bedroom, sit on the bed, and go through a box of mementos from our life. The box contains cards, love notes, the top of the wedding cake, pictures of the husband, the funeral announcement, etc. I was going to need to cry. That was the job. I decided to use this experience as a way to implement what I'd learned. The day before the job, I'm called for my fitting, and the director's there. He's in meetings doing his thing. After my fitting, I approach him. I say, look, I need to know how you're going to shoot the day because I have to cry and I need to protect myself and know when to be prepared. Would you mind if I saw the shot list? He looked a little taken aback at first, but took me into the office and showed me the storyboard. A storyboard is a visual representation of a film sequence that breaks down the action into individual panels. It's a series of ordered drawings with camera direction, dialogue, or other pertinent information. It sketches out how a video will unfold shot by shot. We went over the storyboard. He showed me there were other establishing shots to do in the house prior to my crying scene. Now I know what the day looks like. My crying scenes won't happen until after lunch. I was so relieved. I got a good night's sleep because I knew what was going on. The van picked me up at 7, took me to set. which was a beautiful home on a large piece of land about an hour outside of the city. I had my own dressing area downstairs. My makeup woman was set up in my area as well. I felt relaxed and taken care of because I had an idea of the day and what was expected of me and when. She did my makeup and I looked beautiful. But when the clients saw me, they said, no, she looks too young. Take that makeup off. An actress's worst nightmare, no makeup. So in the morning, they did a few establishing shots without me, and then we did a shot with me walking around the now empty dinner table, and a shot of me walking down the hall to the bedroom carrying my shoes. When it was time for the scene on the bed, going through the box of mementos, I was ready. The directors, producers, agency peoples, they're all in the room next door because they watch on monitors. I have a substitution that I use when I need to cry, and it works. That's how I book these jobs. What's a substitution? Substitution is the recasting of people, places, objects, and events in the script that the actor/character must react or act to. We replace these things with real people, objects, and events that the actor has known or experienced in their own life. Because I had no one to play off, I only had these objects in the box of mementos to work with. I used events from my own life to guide my performance. Now, there were lots of technical shots, but the camera over her shoulder, shots of my hands holding the love notes, turned 2 inches this way, 2 inches that way. Plus the bed was very high and my dress was very short. I had to keep pulling my skirt down and balance on one toe from time to time. I soon realized this was going to be the entire second half of the day, 6 hours or more. After a couple of hours crying, my substitution wasn't working. So I switched to another one, and that worked for a couple of hours. Now, in between setups, you have to protect yourself. You have to stay focused. Sometimes they stick you out in the hall and you're surrounded by grips, electricians, camera, film people doing their jobs. Excuse me, sorry, I'm in the way, excuse me. It's a very tight space, hot because of the lights. Did you ever read that Charles Grodin book? It would be so nice if you weren't here. So we take a break and I think, oh, maybe that's the end. I ask the director, are we done? He says, oh no, now this time I want you to really cry. My substitutions were no longer working. I had to do something. I found myself, I switched to grieving over the mass extinction of animals. I was grieving for the polar bears, the bees, gorillas, leopards, rhinos, elephants, sea turtles, and it made me so sad because I realized how much I love this planet and the animals on it. And then I heard those 3 glorious words. That's a wrap. I walked into the other room where everyone had been watching on the monitors, and they gave me a standing O. And that made me cry. I said, I titled this shoot, Cry Me a River. The commercial came out great. It's beautifully shot, like a film. I was so happy because I stood up for myself, for my art, for my emotional well-being. As an actor, I didn't feel worthy. You're on these big sets and it's all about the lights and the camera angles and the shots and the sound and saving money. But in the end, it's my responsibility to take care of myself. No one is going to do that. I mean, maybe, yeah, if you're a big star, you'll be taken care of. Because I took care of myself, my work came out great. I was so proud. Now, I'm telling you this because I don't want you to be afraid to ask. Take care of yourself. You are there to serve the story, but you can't. If you're confused about where you are and what's going on and when things are going to happen, the entire commercial was just me. Oh, FYI, I booked this commercial on Actors Access without an agent. Thanks for watching. Till next time.